So you're a Medicare agent that wants to make 500,000 big ones in 2023. $500,000 is what you're aiming for. Well, in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to do to be able to do that.
This video is sponsored by none other than Lead Heroes, you guys. Lead Heroes has got you covered when it comes to telemarketed leads and virtual staffing. On the lead side, whether it be Medicare supplement leads, final expense leads, turning 65 leads, they just got something for everybody. They can also actually have you plug in with one of their virtual staff members on the staffing side to where you can pay by the hour for one of their trained and very well vetted staff members to help you out in your business in a virtual assistant format. Just because you watch this video, they're going to give you 10% off any order you make on their website. Link to the site can be found down in the description, so go ahead and check them out.
Making $500,000 a year doing anything is not easy, and it's not something that's going to get there by accident. You have to have a routine, you have to have a strategy, you have to have a mapped out system that you can implement and then repeat over and over and over again. Rinse and repeat is what they say. The first thing we actually got to break down, in my opinion, anytime you're shooting for a large goal, you need to be able to break down the numbers behind that goal on a month-to-month basis and then a week-to-week basis after that. So $500,000 a year, if you break it down per month, that's just under about $42,000 a month. Okay, it's actually, to be specific, $41,666.67. Okay, we'll just say $4,200 for the sake of example. I'd rather overestimate than under. Now, if we're breaking that down by week, you need to be making about $10,416 a week in order to make this realistic and possible. Okay, so the first thing I think you need to understand is, in the Medicare game, to make any kind of large amount of income, it's going to be based on the renewal side of your business, right? Now, you can make a lot of money on the upfront side of your business, but let's just say you don't even have a book of business yet, and you're only basing it off of what new business would come into the door. You'd have to write so much business in order to accomplish that in a year's time if you don't have any renewals on your side, okay? So just to kind of give you some perspective on that, $500,000 a year, let's say in 2023, the street-level Medicare Advantage commission is $301 on renewals, $601 on new to Medicare. Let's just say the average between the two is $400, just for the sake of example, okay? So that would mean you'd have to write 1,250 apps a year at the average of 400. Now, if you're writing mostly new to Medicare, maybe that number drops a little bit, but it's still a substantial amount of applications over the course of the year. So that might sound a little bit daunting, but if you factor in renewals into it over time, this is probably going to be the more achievable way to accomplish this goal for most of you that are watching this video. So let's just say your first goal is to build a business of at least 1,000 clients. Okay, so 1,000 clients, if we're doing it based off of the renewal commission for 2023, 301 like I mentioned, what we're looking at here is $25 a month essentially in renewals. Okay, so let's say you have 1,000 clients on the books, and that's kind of the point that you're trying to aim towards. Okay, 1,000 clients in the books as a starting off point. Well, that right there gives you $300,000 a year in renewals. So $300,000 a year in renewals gets you to a point where you only need $200,000 more over the course of the year in order to attain your $500,000 target, right? So $200,000 a year, let's just say we use our strategic number we used a second ago, $400 on average, would give you 500 policies a year. So you see how that cuts down quite a bit. Now, the other thing that you need to take into consideration is, what if we could cut that number in half by doing your health assessments? Make sure to do your health assessment on every Medicare Advantage sale that you're able to do. Some are easier to do than others. Some carriers might not even let you do them, but every single carrier that will allow you to easily do a health assessment at the end of the application, which, if you're not familiar with what a health assessment is, it's a short survey with most insurance companies. It's about a 30 to 60 second process. Very easy questions you ask the client, with their consent, of course, at the end of the application, and the company will pay you an extra $50, $60, maybe even $75 with some companies in additional commission at some point in time. Sometimes they can take a little while to come in, okay? Now, if you're cross-selling, you're selling hospital indemnity products like a GTL, an Aetna Senior Supplemental, right? Any of these companies that have really great competitive hospital indemnity products, this can help you quite a bit as well. This can kind of get you to a point where you're making, depending on what your commission is, $100, maybe $150 additional in first year commission on every single sale. Now, you're not going to be able to sell a hospital indemnity plan to each and every person, but if you're bringing it up on every single appointment, and even if you're not bringing it up well, even if you're just doing the do you want fries with that lackadaisically on every single appointment, you might still write 1, if not 2 out of every 10 people that you sell. Okay, so this is additional revenue that's going to help bring that 500 client number down. Then before you know it, you're at a point where you're getting 200, 300 clients a year, but you're working more effectively, maximizing your earning potential per client, covering them better while doing it, and also making sure that you can write 200-300 new clients a year once you've built your book up to 1,000 clients. So let's say that's the strategy, okay? And let's say that's kind of what you're shooting for. Let's say you're writing 200 to 300 new clients a year, which is a great goal as far as I'm concerned. It would only, if you're doing 300 a year, it's going to be roughly a little bit above 3 years in order to get your 1,000 clients on the books. Maybe 4 if you factor in losing some, because no matter who you are, you're going to lose some clients. Okay, so let's just say 4 years at that pace and you hit 1,000 clients on the books. Then from there, you just have to keep that pace up, and boom, in year 5, you're making $500,000 a year. This strategy is going to be much more attainable for most of you watching this video because it's the long game, right? You're playing the long game. You're developing a 5-year plan opposed to a 1 to 2 year plan, right? So this is how you have to kind of tackle this. You have to strategically map this out and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do each and every year. You have to be very intentional with your process, very disciplined. Now, this part of the video, I want to talk about how you're going to get to a point where you're writing those 300 apps a year. I'm going to give you 3 pointers that are going to help you get to this level of production, okay? Number 1, volume beats everything. Let me repeat that. Volume beats everything. 1 or 2 sales is not ever going to make or break your business or your career, okay? You need to be focused on a volume perspective business. You have to find a way to know how many people you have to get in front of over the course of the week. So if you're trying to write 300 apps a year, right, that means you're trying to write 25 a month only. It's not nearly as difficult as it might sound. Now, 25 a month might sound daunting to some of you watching this video, but let's just kind of break this down into digestible modes, okay? That's only about 6 to 7 apps a week. My rule of thumb has always been, when you're trying to reach a sales goal, take this into the equation, okay? However many applications you're wanting to write, make sure that you have at least double the appointments. So if you're trying to get 7 new clients that week, make sure you have at least 14 appointments that week. Truth be told, no matter how good of a salesperson you are, there's going to be situations that are out of your control. Maybe the client is actually on the best plan for them and you have integrity, so you leave them alone. Maybe the client needs to pass health questions or underwriting to be able to get on the product that you're looking for. Maybe they don't have an election period. There's always a reason why you might not be able to write somebody, so just plan on having twice as many appointments as you need. Maybe you'll get hot one week and you write 8 to 10 to make up for any weeks that you're maybe lower than your anticipated goal, okay? So you're gonna need 14 appointments a week. So with that in mind, how many leads do you need a week? Okay, so to kind of calculate how many leads you need a week, I always tell people that you should be able to make appointments with about half of your leads if you are working them properly. If you'd like to kind of see some videos about me kind of going over what it takes to actually work a lead properly, how many times you have to call them, automation, everything like that, let me know. We have videos about that. I can kind of link them down in your comment section underneath your comment if you request for that video, okay? But you need to be working the leads properly. Lots of touch points, multiple phone calls, multiple times of the day for multiple days. And this is going to kind of help you reach your leads more effectively, okay? But let's just say you're doing that. Let's just assume you're doing that. And the rule of thumb goes, you're able to schedule appointments with about half of your leads, right? And if that's the case, and you're able to schedule appointments with about half of your leads, you need about 28 leads a week. Let's just say 30, because let's overestimate rather than under. That means a month, you need 120 leads a month. For a year, you're going to need about 1440 a year in terms of lead numbers, maybe 1,500 to round up, okay? If you do this, if you work those leads properly, you're going to be able to hit those numbers. Now, let's just say you don't want to just work leads. There's also other ways that you can build referral relationships. There's other ways that you can work with your clients and ask them for referrals and ask people to send people to you. You can provide great customer service and a great reputation, which will cause people to bring leads to you. You can marinate relationships with businesses in the community to where they might want to send referrals to you. Now, all of this stuff takes time, though. It's not something that you can just flip a switch and immediately you have all this business coming in the door. These are things that you should be doing if you're independent, but you should be putting together a budget to which you can buy leads. So in that scenario I talked about earlier, you're looking at about 30 leads a week, 120 a month. Let's just say an average lead is going to cost about $25 a lead, just to be conservative. It's probably, in a lot of scenarios, it might even be less than that. That's about $3,000 a month. So you're going to need quite a hefty budget of $3,000 a month in order to pull this off, right? And any kind of lead is going to beat not having a lead at all. So if you need to get maybe some cheaper leads, $10, $15, $20, and the quality isn't as good, it's okay because you just need the volume game. Play the volume game, and that will help you get past all obstacles. Having enough leads is vital. Having your pipeline full is vital. If one sale cancels or somebody charges back on you, and it's devastating to you, all it means is you didn't have enough in your pipeline. You didn't have enough sales going on. You didn't have enough deals that you were working on because you were too reliant on one or two. You need to play this volume game at all costs possible, and then get out there and work them. Use automation to your advantage. Automation is when you have a system that can automatically send emails, text messages, maybe possibly pre-recorded ringless voicemails to your leads, so that way you're touching them more effectively. But keep this in mind. Automation is not going to take the place of you working the lead. Automation can help, but it's not going to make the sale for you. It's not going to replace you needing to actually pick up the phone and dial those leads in an appropriate, efficient manner. Okay? So if you do this and you create a 4 to 5 year plan and you follow my instructions and you're disciplined, you can have a $500,000 a year income coming in from your Medicare book of business that will just continue to grow. And once you're at 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 clients, you're going to have so many referrals coming in, you won't even need leads anymore. And you can just live off of referrals if you so choose to do so. Or you can invest back into your marketing and your branding to make sure that you can dominate and take over your local market. This is how you're going to make $500,000 a year. This is how you can become a millionaire selling Medicare in 2023. Anyway, guys, did you enjoy this video? Was it helpful for you? If it did, do me a favor, drop a like on this video so that way I know you guys like this kind of content. Comment your thoughts down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What questions do you guys have? How close are you to hitting this benchmark that we talked about today? I'd love to kind of have a dialogue with you guys about it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I hope you have a wonderful 2023. Much success to you. Here's to your success and your abundance. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.